Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Midday Market Monitor. In today's video, come on, let's talk about Meta. Meta up 5.4% since my conversation with Steve literally last night, or the following days before that, where Meta has been a top pick of mine. You gotta like this name. You want to know why? Meta ended up opening up potential talks for advertisement on Threads. Threads, according to Meta, has now 400 million monthly active users. Okay. And that they're gaining potentially more daily mobile users globally than Elon Musk's own X. And now they're bringing their very powerful, very thoughtful, or thorough, not thoughtful, advertising business to Threads officially. So, of course, this is going to happen. They're going to do this with all of their platforms. The monetization growth on WhatsApp over time is also going to be a very big win for them as well. But yeah, Meta's not out of it. And it's just so funny to me that you see something like this in the stock, like people had somehow forgotten that people were not factoring into their analysis that there's a possibility that the largest advertising company in the world is going to bring advertising to a new platform. Who could have ever believed it? I don't know. Maybe some, I guess. This was also followed on the back of a Jefferies analyst putting a buy rating with a price target of 300, sorry, not three, that would be bad, $910 on Meta. They're saying it's an attractive risk reward based on the very decent discount versus Google, even though there's potential for them to grow much faster. AI hires are set to deliver in 2026. Continued momentum of Meta's core flywheel powered by artificial intelligence, and accelerating activation of major incremental revenue engines, with WhatsApp poised to grow from a $9 billion run rate today to $36 billion by fiscal year 2029. Okay. They said that there's added upside on Threads and Llama and different AI projects, and that they see that Meta's current downside that they've seen of roughly 18%, while Amazon is up 4%, Google's up 18%, leaves shares at quite the discount historically versus the norms of where they usually trade. So they said that if they can end up turning around concerns around margin pressure, CapEx ramp, or even AI execution, one of those I do not believe is going to happen. CapEx ramp is going to continue to happen, but AI execution, that's the real concern, right? That Llama 4 and their other projects so far have just been absolute duds, complete flops. But if they can end up showing that Meta is going to be a growth company, who knows? Maybe it was a good time to buy. Hopefully, those that believe in the Mag 7 names didn't wait too long to pick up some additional shares of Meta stock. Gotta love it, ladies and gentlemen. You have to love it. Not only this, you find other Mag 7 names. Tesla up 3.4%. Wow, massive ramp just recently. Let's see what this is about. Let's have a look. Tesla officially starts unsupervised FSD rides to the public. Where? How does this work? Tesla has officially started FSD unsupervised robotaxi rides for the general public in Austin with no safety monitors in the car, marking a historic milestone for the company. That's what that is. FSD is officially here. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. Elon's kissing hands and shaking babies. Shaking hands and kissing babies at the conference. Yes, and we will be listening to that conference. I do want to listen to that. So we'll be doing that. But hopefully Elon doesn't shake any babies. Okay, so that's why Tesla's up. Microsoft, we ended up talking about yesterday. This name, like, it can there's only so much sell-off that can happen to the world's most miraculous businesses. I truly believe this, that if people are worried about a more larger scale correction, which I think is what people are worried about for second half of 2026. There was a report today that ended up coming out that here, investor risk appetite amongst hedge fund managers and asset managers in general is actually raising to some pretty high levels right now. The S&P Global Index or Investment Manager Index rose to 41% in January, the highest reading since April of 2021. This gauge covers a monthly survey of 300 institutional investors overseeing $3.5 trillion in assets. This marks the fourth consecutive monthly increase in risk appetite. Now, 58% of fund managers expect U.S. equity gains over the next 30 days, while only 16% expect losses. As a result, the near-term market outlook jumped to plus 32%, the second highest in 4 years. Wall Street is betting on continued stock market rallies. However, you can see here, there's no there's not a lot of curves in this type of data. Whenever it runs up, it runs down very, very quickly, almost every single time. So risk appetite can turn off very quickly. This is why I like to benefit from putting money most recently in, more of the Mag 7 names because, yeah, by the way, it is confirmed. Elon actually just started Tesla robotaxi drives in Austin with no safety monitor in the car. Congratulations to the Tesla AI team. If you're interested in solving real-world AI, which is likely to lead to AGI, in my opinion, join Tesla AI. Solving real-world AI for Optimus will lead to will be 100x harder than cars. That's why Tesla is up right now. Let's see where they are sitting at. $445, up 3.2%. Let's see. Just Me says, nice to meet you. May I meet you? Yeah, little Elon pomp. You gotta love a pamp. Everyone does these days. Let's see where Google is today. Up another 0.9%, which is nice. We also got great PayPal news. Hoping to have Roy on if he can pop on to say hi. PayPal, even though we were talking about this yesterday, is actually doing something with their money. They acquired, what is it? Symbio? I think it's Symbio. Symbio is a agentic, payments company that will essentially help bring millions of merchants that PayPal has onto Copilot and Perplexity and hopefully Gemini and ChatGPT eventually as well. They purchased that company, I think, for about $150 million. I don't have my notes up right now, but we'll have Roy on hopefully to come give us his thoughts on that. So they were up an additional 2%. However, bleeding off. Tesla's win is PayPal's demise. The interesting thing about this company being down so much is I'm not calling for, this company to go back to $250. The interesting part is that whenever it is so sold off and you're at like $55 a share like it was this morning, even from it to go from 55 back to 65, which was extremely depressed before, is still a decent upside. You're talking about like a 15% upside for this company just to move back to where it was. And levels that we had seen, like even $70 3 months ago. Still being, one of the cheapest companies in public markets. So, yeah. Might be interesting. It's just anytime I try to go anywhere near that company, this business pops into my head and I go, Nebius is under $100. Nebius is under $100. And I don't have to worry about them being potentially, competed away, for example. One of those competitions that PayPal might end up seeing right now is like Apple, in talks with regulators and banks to launch Apple Pay in India. That's not going to fare well for PayPal. I'm not saying that that is going to hurt their business drastically, but it's like you have really big companies that are pushing their way in their payments products into, you know, total addressable markets that have over 1 billion people. So, yeah. Now India has UPI, which is their sort of internal payment system, and we'll see how that sort of fares. But yeah, your new SoFi video got me hyped. It wasn't necessarily meant to do that. That's just how I see the company. New SoFi Plus benefit 20% off TurboTax. Nice. Gotta like it. UPI is excellent. Yeah, my understanding is like it's one of the fastest growing, you know, nationwide payment services. I think Pix, which is Brazil's, is growing even faster, but UPI I heard is very good. Okay. Trading at a forward PE of 8. Is this PayPal? Is that what you're talking about? Any predictions for Intel earnings? No, I don't really cover Intel, unfortunately. You know what company I did take a look at today? Was Grab. And you know what's funny? I called Amit. He was in a meeting, so I couldn't get his full thoughts. But what's it called? It's just not grabbing me that much. You know? Well, I'll have some more looks at Grab, but I don't know. Why is this company so dang expensive? PE is off the charts. Their margins are extremely low on price to earnings. The growth in net income is not expected to grow that much. Yeah. Yeah, but this is what I think, right? Is like whenever you're going through businesses, I think that I have to take a little bit of like a Warren Buffett approach, a little bit. It's not even that I'm anti-grab. It's like whenever I look at it, I have to continuously look back and say, okay, well, you know, is this cheaper than other businesses where I can put my money to? Do I feel more confident in Grab than I do Meta? Do I feel more confident in Grab than I do Nebius? Do I feel more confident in Grab than I do even Google? Grab has no earnings. PE is not a thing to look at. They do have earnings. According to their income statement, they have been profitable the last 5 quarters. Here. Last 5 quarters, they made $15 million, $11 million, $10 million, $20 million, $17 million. Consolidated net income. You know, and the growth is good on their financial services. I'm not anti that. It's just, and then I look at like Nubank and I'm like, okay, well, if I'm buying this for their financial services and sort of like the super app aspect, why am I buying Grab over Nubank? You know? Yeah. I sold Grab a while back and bought more ASTS. I mean, you're probably happy now, aren't you? Lemonade is going crazy. That's another one I just saw in chat. That one goes hard. Holy. Lemonade you could have bought back in like I think November of 2023 for like $10. Now it's about to break 100. Let's see if they did break 100. No, got turned away. The $100 party, the bouncer said, "Hey, back off. Time to go back home." But no, company's still up 12.7%. Pretty interesting. The fintech side of Grab is growing at 40%. Surprised you aren't paying attention to that side of the business. No, I literally said the fintech side is interesting. I did take a look at that side of the business, but the growth is slowing. It's a small part of their business. Out of their, $873 million of their business, it makes up for 90 million. It's a small aspect of their business. And then their net income margins and everything is 2%. I'm not like, guys, this is the thing. It's not about if it's a good company. I'm not calling for its bankruptcy. I think that it'll do fine. Will it do better than the companies that I already hold? Over a 5-year period, will it do better than Nubank? Who can put their dollars on that? I want to know. Yeah. Whenever I say growth is slowing, that doesn't mean that the total dollar is slowing. That means they have gone from growing at 55%, now they're growing at 40%. It's the slowing percentage of growth. They're still growing at 40%. I mean, that's good, but it's the smallest segment of their business. It should be about opportunity cost. Cameron, for real, exactly. And this company has been opportunity cost central. Grab insiders sell open market practically every week. I don't know if I'm not going to say that. I haven't. I've only just done a quick look at the company. They're extremely cash heavy, which I know Amit really likes. He looks for companies that are, not debt heavy, cash heavy. That's how he found Palantir and what he liked about Robinhood, and probably what he, similarly liked about Grab. But yeah. What do you think about buying gold and silver at this price? I think that whenever I look at a chart, and even silver is probably a more exaggerated thing, and I look at a chart of a 1 year on a non-producing asset, I'm like, oh, this is the chart I want to buy. Like, this gets me excited. I want to buy here. It's just a little much for me. You know what I should do? I should buy silver here. I don't know. Let's go ahead and have a listen to, I actually think Trump just recently had a conversation with Fox Business about the acquisition of Greenland. I kind of wanted to hear a little bit about that, and then we can get into Elon at the World Economic Forum. Let's have a listen.
That you've spoken with the NATO secretary about. Can you tell us anything about that? Does this ultimately mean that the U.S. will ultimately acquire Greenland?
Well, I don't know if I can say that, but it could be. I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible. But in the meantime, we're getting everything we wanted: total security, total access to everything, have as many bases, have all the equipment that we want. And very importantly, we're building the Golden Dome, we call it. It was called the Iron Dome. Somehow the Golden Dome sounded a little bit better. But we have a technology that's second to none. You saw what we did with Israel, and that's our ingenious that did that. And it's amazing. It's just, it's foolproof. And we're going to be building it. And it works much better when we have access to Greenland. Just covers more territory, covers it more accurately. Missiles will be more accurate by having it. It's very important strategically as a piece, and we will have everything we want. We're getting everything we want at no cost.
So the Golden Dome will be on Greenland?
A piece of it, yes, and it's a very important part because everything comes over Greenland. If the bad guys start shooting, it comes over Greenland. So we knock it down. It's pretty infallible. It's amazing. Ronald Reagan had the idea a long time ago, but we didn't have any technology at that point. The concept was great, but there was no technology. Now we have unbelievable technology. I mean, virtually 100%.
So what are we talking about? An acquisition of Greenland? Are you going to pay for it?
We're talking about it. It's really being negotiated now, the details of it, but essentially it's total access. It's there's no end. There's no time limit. We're not doing a 99 or a 10-year or anything else, the famous 99-year deals that you hear about, because countries can't do it for that. Countries go on longer. And so I think it's going to be something that's very well, already it's being reviewed very well. Well, I noticed the stock market went up very substantially after we announced it, but the details are being negotiated now. It'll be very good.
So, because the GDP of Greenland is like $3.3 billion, but people are valuing Greenland of between 50 billion and almost $1 trillion. So what are you willing to pay for Greenland?
Well, I'm not going to have to pay anything. We're going to have total access to Greenland. We're going to have all military access that we want. We're going to be able to put what we need on Greenland because we want it. We're talking about national security and international security. So we're going to not have to pay anything other than the fact that we are building the Golden Dome. And the Golden Dome is going to be something that's going to be very amazing. It'll be Israel times probably 100. And we need it. I think we need it. And it's all going to be made in the United States. We have the best weapons in the world. We have the best companies in the world. We want them to produce faster. And, we've put a mandate out. You're going to have to produce faster, whether it's the Patriots or the Tomahawks or the F-35s or anything else. We make the best equipment, but they have to make it a lot faster.
And you've said you want a defense budget of $1.5 trillion for 2027. How do you pay for that with the $37 trillion debt load?
Yeah, the money that's coming in is astronomical. We'll be taking in over $600 billion this year alone in tariffs, and that's because we're doing it nice and easy. We're not even doing it strongly. We hope we have a good decision from the Supreme Court. If we don't, we figure something else. But it certainly makes life a lot easier if we have that decision that we're waiting for. If we don't, we'll do something else. But we have a lot of money coming in. We have a tremendous success. We have over $18 trillion. It could be when I get the final numbers, could be more than that now because, that was a month and a half ago, but we have $18 trillion coming into the country in the form of investments. We have thousands of businesses being built all over the country. And you see it, you report on it better than anybody else. I appreciate that. But, when you think of 18 trillion plus, no country's done anywhere near that. Like, that's probably 4 times, 5 times more than any other country's ever done.
And I always say money goes where it's treated best.
Well,
so
it's
you've got
good.
The right policies, obviously.
But they want to be treated good. They want to know that, we have a country that's hot. We had a dead country 1 year ago. This was a dead under Biden. You know that better than anybody, but we were a dead country. The king of Saudi Arabia said it to me. I use it all the time. He said, 1 year ago, you were a dead country. Now you have the hottest country in the world. We're the hottest country in the world.
Mr. President, are our relations with Europe deteriorating or worsening? I mean, French President Macron called the Greenland situation colonialism. European leaders have these emergency talks to try to retaliate or stop your plans. You're threatening France with 200% tariffs on wine and champagne. There's been a real reaction from the European group. So,
well, they put a service charge on us, which is something that they're going to have to remove. I think we get along good, but, I've always debated, we are always going to be there for them, but will they be there for us? I've always said that, if we ever needed them, because NATO has very much been a one-way street. We actually paid, until I came along, we were paying I think we paid 100% the cost of NATO. They weren't paying and we were paying. We have hundreds of thousands of soldiers in Germany. We have 50,000 soldiers in other countries. We have a lot of soldiers, not only Europe and other places. And, we want that to be reciprocal. We want to be liked and respected. So I've always said, and we get along very well with NATO, I think, but I've always said, will they be there if we ever needed them? And that's really the ultimate test. And I'm not sure of that. I know that we would have been there or we would be there, but will they be there? And let's hope that that never happens. We've never needed them. We have never really asked anything of them. They'll say they sent some troops to Afghanistan or this or that. And they did. They stayed a little off the front lines. But we've been very good to Europe and to many other countries. And, now under my administration, that began because we had a very successful first term. That began then, but it has to be a two-way street. And it's been a two-way street, much more so. And now it's really been a two-way street.
So what should we expect from the European countries? I mean,
All right, let's get back to markets really quickly. I do also want to listen to some of the Elon Musk conversations at the World Economic Forum. But that as well is also a very long video. But we'll see. Maybe we run a little long today. As I was listening to that, I also just got this pop-up on X. Head of digital asset research at Van Eck just initiated a position in eToro. Okay. eToro is a profitable global retail brokerage with built-in social trading and meaningful balance sheet float income, not just a crypto trading app. Shares are now 55% below the first IPO close and 30% down in the last month, trading below 2027 expected book value, barring a profitability collapse, which looks very unlikely given the current returns and cash generation. This drawdown comes as retail participation has started this year strong, historically supportive for retail brokerages. We see an asystemic setup, profitable, growing, buying back stock, yet still priced like a fragile fintech. Now, if I go down, obviously, this is all stuff that I've essentially said. Users are growing, lowering CAC costs, profitable, huge, nice balance sheet, no debts, buying back stock, everything like this. Oh, did they own the X partnership, the cash tags and stuff? Okay. There was a nice part at the end here, though, that I thought was interesting. He said, P.S. Elon Musk, hard not to notice that a $2 billion eToro investment could bring global trading rails plus float economics to X at a fraction of the long-term earnings optionality. Saying, hey, Elon, buy eToro. Also pointing out in the chart here that in app downloads, eToro looks like one of the better companies amongst this list for growing total downloads. Guys, I'm telling you, I might have caught a good time on this name. Maybe I should. I don't know what else I need to do. To be honest, you know what was holding me back is I wanted to have a conversation with the CEO. I want to ask him some questions that I have in terms of the concerns of the business before I purchased. Make a little YouTube video at it. Tanner, install the app and see for yourself. It's not in Canada. Not available in Canada. That's it. Don't they have legal overhang? How so? All thanks to Devin Ryan. I know, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Okay. I just stay with Hood. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. I get it. But we were just talking about Grab earlier. It's like, what do I have more faith in, Grab or eToro for the next 2 years? Guys, I mean, no question would I pick eToro. Like, absolutely. yeah. Pick Nubank. Grab or eToro, Nubank. Thank you. I used it about 8 years ago. And this is what I honestly think a lot of people's perception of this app is going way back. And they go, oh, I don't like the fees. I don't like this part of it. Like this part's awful. Go look at the demos. Go look at the fee structures. Your problems with the pricing do not exist anymore. I just bought a 1-year leap on eToro. From what I heard, that might need to be the play. Supposedly like eToro $45 calls, just like insanely cheap. I need to look into it. This is absolutely not a recommendation. And by the way, I'm not going to do that anyway. I don't run options. So I like to sell options. We like to sell covered calls. But yeah. Amit's in a meeting. I can't call him, guys. No bueno. Let's see. Used a long time ago and it was expensive. Yeah, but you're talking about a long time ago. The spread on crypto, they take a 1% fee. That's in line with like close to Robinhood, SoFi, cheaper than Coinbase. That's just like a regular fee. Yeah. Okay. Last time I checked, it was like 85% of revenue. Why are you? I want to shake you, Robert. Don't put these comments in chat. Last time I checked. Check again and then come back. You're completely wrong. It's like 30%. People are just putting their opinions in chat of facts. Put the actual facts in the chat. You're a Google search away. Okay. I wouldn't just say that about any chatter, but it's Robert. And I see Robert here every day. Okay? Driving me nuts. Okay. Robert has a point. No, he doesn't. He's just lying. There's no point there. Robert has a point. Dude just lied in chat. Okay. Just got back. What did I miss? Parsifal, man. I need some clear heads in chat right now. Team Robert. No more Team Robert. Mods, get anyone that says Team Robert or free Robert. I'm on Robert's team. I'm with Robert. Get them all out. Not allowed. Okay. By the way, I heard someone say that don't ban any of those guys, by the way. Mod Robert? Absolutely not. Uber, the reason for the steep drop and is the same reason that even like a Grab should take a steep drop. If Tesla is showing off full self-driving, the concerns that people have about Uber's business are going to be the same that they have about like Grab's business or Lyft or any of these other ones. Tesla can start offering full self-driving, unsupervised in Texas for everyone. That's pretty freaking good. Okay. No more Robert gang. Grab driving in Asia. I don't know, man. Yeah. Talk about Broadcom. I like Broadcom. I really like Broadcom. I think, show me the incentives and I'll show you the outcome type thing. Look at Hawk Tan's incentives on raising AI revenue. Broadcom's a serious player. I would really look at this name. Okay. I'm tempted to go back and fact check. The fact is he just said that 85% of eToro's revenue is crypto. You guys are making me do it. So let's do it. Crypto, equities, net interest, eToro money, and subscription. Those are their 5 business lines. Okay. And then everyone's saying, he's right. I'm team whatever. Quarterly. Crypto is right here. Does this blue line look like 85% to you guys? Don't play with me. All right? It's lower than equities, commodities, and currencies. It's lower than net interest contribution. Enough. Let's go listen to Elon Musk at the World Economic Forum. Yeah. I had to side with myself to decide on it. Okay. We're going to start out about 5 minutes in because they were just, Elon was making jokes and everything. Let's have a quick listen. And then if something comes up in the market or we want to change, we can always pause and then continue on later. But I do want to listen to Elon.
Okay, I'm going to, as I said, I'm a pretty proud CEO of BlackRock since we went public. The compounding return of BlackRock to our shareholders was 21%. Since Elon took Tesla public, his compounded return is 43%. This is just another advertisement for everybody, especially for Europeans. This is why more citizens should be investing with growth, investing with their countries. Imagine if a lot of pension funds invested with Elon when Tesla went public, and how much return would all the pension funds that invested side by side with Elon and the growth. So a spectacular return. There's very few companies. Well, I don't think there's any other company as large as Tesla today that has that compounded return. So congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
It's a good measurement.
Well, we have an incredible team at Tesla, and that's the reason.
So I want to get into the dirt, the meaningful component about technology, the possibilities. I want to talk about AI and robotics, energy, space, and the progress ultimately coming down to engineering discipline, scale, execution. And few people, if not anyone, has the experience and the...
We're going to take a quick break from that as someone has just joined backstage. You guys don't know, the CEO of PayPal has a twin brother. That twin brother is an avid researcher of this company. His name is Roy Crossroads.
How you doing, Tanner?
Doing well, brother. Good to have you on.
Thanks for having me on. Glad I could pop on. Just a few minutes. There's a lot of digging to do in this news, but yeah, it's like I guess I didn't hear your take because I've been busy working. What was your quick take, and then I'd love to get into it a little bit.
Yeah, so I didn't really honestly have one. I think that PayPal needed to make a move. So first off, just to give the news for the new people that just came in, PayPal finally acquired a new business under Alex Chris. I think it's called Cerebro. No, Symbio. Yeah, Symbio. And Symbio is a agentic platform that I think helps them get onto Perplexity and ChatGPT and Gemini and Microsoft Copilot to allow for the millions of PayPal merchants to have their products there. Am I right in that regard?
Yeah, essentially there's a lot of pieces to it, but the biggest is it allows for discoverability, and of course automatic updating, and helps you as a business retain control as far as what you want discoverable by AI agents and agentic commerce. So some of the framework for this, PayPal Ventures invested in this. It's publicly traded. They've done several series of raises, but I believe it's 2022 or 2023 that they were invested in these guys. In October, they announced a partnership with them, which was around agentic commerce. It's exactly this. So they have a very good understanding of exactly the talent that's at the company, what they're capable of doing, how the product's been receiving, and where it fits in their ecosystem. So this is, well, on one hand, it's far off. Agentic commerce is not going to have massive volumes this year. I think it's a little bit closer than I was thinking last year, just because we've seen massive waves of Google, what they're doing, Shopify, OpenAI, Perplexity, and many others as well. PayPal is very well positioned across all of that. They need something nearer term than agentic commerce, because this could be 2, 3, 4 years away from significant volume. But what I do love is, instead of under previous management, they're just focusing on survival or doing old things, or they'd acquire stuff and not really integrate this. This is very different. They know exactly where they're going as a business, where they must go, where they have to go. They know what they're able to build, and they've been building a lot of stuff internally. They've not been like really eager to just do acquisitions like Honey in the past, where they just are like, great, we'll do that, and we'll just kind of leave it alone and let it do its own thing. But this is going to be very integrated in PayPal. The other thing that's really neat about this product is, like, if you look at customer testimonials and reception, it's something that is a very loved product that really helps merchants onboard seamlessly and very quickly to be able to have that agentic commerce exposure. So that's very good for PayPal, because in the past, onboarding has not always been the best. So I like the move. It's rumored to be in the couple hundred $1 million range, so maybe like 200 million or less. And so PayPal, they have so much cash, so much free cash flow. They're going to excite a lot of people that care about free cash flow with Q4, what they're projected to have. But
how much of their free cash flow right now is tied up in buybacks and dividends?
About 80%. So, but yeah, they're going to post, it's between $6 and $7 billion on the year. And you look at what they've printed so far. So it's going to be a massive, massive print in Q4. And free cash flow, at least from what I've been seeing, looks like it's going to continue to accelerate. It has under Alex Chriss. It was deteriorating under the previous management. So they've, just full disclosure, like you and I have talked, but in case people haven't seen me before, I own PayPal. It's been very painful. I've reduced some of my position because there have been some macro issues, but there's also been some missteps as far as execution. This is really good.
News?
It's a little bit too further out. No. It's not breaking news. I got out of all my options like 2 months ago that were in my non-tax advantage account, and just as like, hey, I don't think this will happen, but there's a chance that this Q4 earnings that they have in early February is a hey, transition year 3.0. That's not acceptable. So yeah. I can't do that again, because it's like, oh, it's just one more year. Well, one more year can be 2, 3, 4, 5 more years. And so basically, I'm looking at a couple of factors going to Q4. This is really nice. It's good. The base case scenario is probably I'll exit a bit more of my position after Q4. If they really impress me, not more really about the numbers, with the execution, what they're building, and the clear roadmap for this year, as well as a first read on a lot of those products, especially advertising, which frankly they've really not done well in communicating. Largely what PayPal has been actually under Alex Chriss, bears have said this, and there's an element of truth, is that they've been a business that's about making announcements. There's just not been enough execution and not enough clarity on what they've done. So this is really cool. You might say, well, why is PayPal only up this amount? Well, it's helped by a green day in the macro, but I mean, the market needs to see it. They have to put points on the board. The numbers are okay-ish, but not really acceptable in branded and top line revenue growth. So yeah, we'll have to see. I reserve the right to change my mind both directions, but I want to see that Q4 print really before I make any other moves with PayPal.
Really quick, any thoughts on Tesla, the unsupervised changes in Austin? I don't know if you saw that, but there's no longer a need for people to sit in the car, and they've just opened that up to the public.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it's just on the robotaxi side, correct? Not for individual personal drivers?
Yes, I think that's true, yeah.
But that's a step in that direction. So basically, Austin, you're pretty friendly to Tesla because that's their base, that's their hub. Really, really good. It makes robotaxis real because, people are poking fun and saying, oh, it's not really full self-driving because a person is there. And they've also said that, people that have not used the technology, frankly, or used it years ago, and they think, hey, full self-driving isn't really that. And it's not. Like, when you have to constantly monitor and have your not be distracted and everything, it becomes real and frankly magical and life-altering for some people when legally, and also the technology needs to be there. And it's really close, guys. It honestly is. When you can actually take a nap, or you can play on your phone, or whatever illegally. Yeah. Like, people will love that. They switched over to a subscription-only revenue, which, I mean, honestly, I don't know how many they were actually selling it, like the full price tag anyway. But I think they'll do very well. On that, did you see the Lemonade and Tesla insurance news with full self-driving?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Lemonade's up like I think 12% right now.
Yeah, I mean they deserve it.
$95.60.
And I love, like this is an insurance company that's not. They have a relationship now with Tesla, but it's not. They're not trying to pump Tesla. At the end of the day, they want to make money, and so when they come out and they're like, "Hey, full self-driving is so legit that if you're using it, you save 50% on your premium." That is pretty astonishing, remarkable for them, but also for Tesla and how far they've come. So I was really hoping that the Ryanair stuff and maybe a terrible quarter four in tariff woes would help Tesla sell off more. And I would love to be buying it in the 200s. It may not get there, but
You thought that the Ryanair stuff was going to help sell off Tesla?
so triple threat basically. If you have tariff and macro just souring, if you have, and we know that the quarter four is going to be absolutely dismal, but even worse than expected. Plus a little something else, which that would be like if there was more credibility to the Ryanair thing, where Elon might do kind of the same thing as what happened with Twitter. We know what happened with Tesla during that time. I wasn't expecting that much of a sell-off, but I'm like, hey, if this gets in the 200s, I'm not talking about like $200. I'm talking about like 280, 290.
Mm-hmm.
I would add.
Yeah.
Probably not happening.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to buy the margins on airline companies are so bad. Usually only buys companies that he believes that he can make big change on. I don't think that's going to be an airline business.
Yeah. Well, it didn't have to happen or not. The market just had to think that there was a decent possibility, and it's not now. That was very short lived. So yeah.
Okay. Well, Roy, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you popping on. That's awesome.
Absolutely, my friend. Miss doing this, and I'll see you later.
Yeah, man. Ladies and gentlemen, just so you're aware, I'm just going to put your links and everything that you can pop if you want. Roy is also on X and YouTube. He does some phenomenal work. We used to have a show together. We used to have 2 shows together, but my ability to show up to those shows has decreased over time. See, Robert, I know, like, me and you we don't see eye to eye, okay? The revenue that they did last quarter in Q3 was not 4 billion. I know it looks like 4 billion, but that's the same thing as like Block, for example. I've explained this. You need to look at it from net contributions, okay? If you come against the king, Robert, you gotta have the facts. And you, my friend, are missing facts. The facts are that just like Block, that any amount of crypto that transacts through their platform, they have to count as revenue. It's a terrible system, but it means that you can't look at revenue. No more Team Bobby. Team Bobby just got destroyed. He's wrong. Okay. What about FinTech Friday? Yeah, it was. I'm no longer on that show. I think it still might be going on. I think there's a different name, but yeah. What do you think about the Shopify price action lately? I think it sucks. Do I own Shopify or Spotify? No. But Shopify, I think that it's getting sold off like the rest of the software names. I think people believe that there's a possibility that some of these companies will just be able to make their own backends, and that they won't need help from Shopify, and to give them a cut of everything and large fees to pay. So if they can do something on their own terms, that would help save them a ton of money. Yeah, Shopify. Yeah. Talk about Spotify. I don't have anything to say about Spotify. Yeah. For real, and I'm not kidding, these comments that are trying to make fun of me, well, they're not trying to make fun of me. They're actually telling the truth. But it sounds like they're making fun of me. That Tanner needs his sleep and that Tanner's needs more sauna time is legit the answer. I just don't want to be online or, taking in a ton of light or anything like this past 9:30. Yeah, I need to wind down. I like to have a sauna, get some nice rest. Are you in any space companies? No, unfortunately not. I like the only space company that I would want is SpaceX, but there's a likelihood that they might IPO. $1.5 trillion valuation. I'd have to take a look at it. You'd have to be thinking, okay, which company would I like to prefer, Tesla or SpaceX more? That's a hard, that's hard to pick one. Yeah. Data centers are really hated right now. Yeah, but big tech, honestly, up until today was hated all the last couple of months. And I think that they'll come back in favor. What needs to happen is they need to be fundamentally driven, right? You need these CEOs to come back out for this next round of earnings and say, hey, capacity is overbooked. We have large deals. We have ground being broken. We're about to finish up on these data centers. And our customers are asking for more and more and more. You can only hold down a company growing at 400+% for so long. Okay. It's insane. Not since TSM earnings. Well, that's true. But legitimately, that is fundamentally driven. People need to be grabbed by the collar and say, this is not the .com bubble. Okay. The orders are coming in. We're seeing real money. Dario from Anthropic was like, hey guys, in the last 3 years, we've gone from 100 million in ARR to 1 billion to now 10 billion in 3 years. It's insane. Why are companies spending so much on artificial intelligence? Because it's not working? Yeah, right. Can you speak on the base and bull case for Intuit and AppLovin? I wouldn't know the first thing about Intuit. AppLovin, I mean, more people are going on phones. They've got a massive advertising business. I'm not really invested in either one of them. The problem with AppLovin for me, you can see the growth. You can see the fact that they a lot of their growth has actually been from invite only, and they actually haven't turned their product on to the public. So the amount of growth that they're seeing is just purely from internal customers that they have allowed onto the platform. Pretty disgusting in a good way. But the amount of probes and concerns with Chinese ties and all of these things that AppLovin might be going through, I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's not. But with the transparency of those businesses, I'd rather just stay away. So in my opinion, I believe in advertisements. I'll believe in it through my holdings in Reddit and in Meta. What's a great price to buy below for eToro? I'm not honestly. I don't know. Yeah. Parsival, I think that's right. Stop worrying about the whole where will the money come from. Let's look at what's actually happening. The longest time people said, oh, well, businesses are not going to pay for this. Companies are not going to buy into the API business. Sam Altman, by the way, just announced, today while we were live, we just added another $1 billion of ARR in the last month just from our API business. People think of us mostly as ChatGPT, but the API business is doing amazing work. The demand is off the charts. Uber Shorter, thank you for the $10, my friend. Appreciate the super chat. Nebius price target if they execute on their guidance. I don't really do price targets, but for real, I think that the demand is absolutely massive. I think Some of the parts is an interesting strategy whenever you're looking at Nebius, just because you look at, how much ClickHouse is worth in their, recent valuation, $15 billion. They own 28% of the business. Maybe that's gone down to 27 since the recent $500 million ad. So they've got a $4 billion plus stake in that company. Toloka, Triple 10, what else? AV Ride. All of these businesses are growing at triple digits, high valuations. Nebius either owns wholly those businesses, those subsidiaries, or minority stakes of very, very fast growing businesses that are in, some of the best and fastest growing segments of technology. On top of that, then that's Nebius Group, but then Nebius, of that Nebius Group, the main, building at the data centers, they're owned. They are, they have a really great relationship with NVIDIA. NVIDIA owns a percentage of Nebius as well. They, Jensen just said that a lot of customers for artificial intelligence are not just the hyperscalers. A lot of people are buying from like much smaller names as well that are getting more interested, corporate names. So I'm just overall excited for Nebius and the data center play there, growing at what was the most recent growth rate? 360%, something crazy like this. Where is it? Come on. Why can't I find this? I got to go to Nebius's earnings report in order to find this. Come on. The group's overall revenue growth grew 355% year over year, up 40% quarter over quarter. Funding is secured, profitable, growing the core AI infrastructure business at a 19% adjusted EBITDA margin. That's only going to improve. I like the name a lot. Okay. Marry the ugly ones and be happy. Yeah, I think it's 27%, something like this. Okay. Do you think NVIDIA can diversify their business enough where they might still grow if demand for chips slows down? No. They are a chip supplier. But it's the if demand for chips slows down. That's where I would question you. And then it's also just the faction of maintaining those chips, right? They only have so much life cycle. That might increase as I from what I understand, that the strain that it puts on a GPU for inference versus actually training, very different. So the chips can actually last a little bit longer, which might be semi-bad for NVIDIA, but then that's why we invest in, the hyperscalers and the names like Nebius and AWS and Azure and Google Cloud, because those will benefit. I won't be in the infrastructure layer forever. I think that the goal is to be in the infrastructure layer for the next 2 to 3 years and then rotate into more of the application layer where you find more of those annual recurring revenue streams. NVIDIA is a one-trick pony. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I'm not anti that, but they do that very well. You done with the community portfolio? No, honestly, it just hasn't gotten brought up in a while. The performance absolutely stinks. We're still down on a total percent basis, but I think a lot of people, from what I heard, thought that the community portfolio was my portfolio. And I was like, it was like sending missed messages. And I'm like, yeah, no, this portfolio sucks. And then people are like, it's you. And I'm like, no, it's not me. So I don't want to confuse people. But yeah, it's just the community portfolio is just chilling. This is, positions that were donated by the community. So we have some pretty big winners in this portfolio, but some also not so much. Let's see by total gainers, or how do I see total percent moves? Total. There we go. BE is up 315%. Whoever donated BE back in the day, that gave me a 4x. Unreal. Micron, Energy Fuels. This is crazy. ASTS. Some of these names have just skyrocketed. On the other hand, we have seen some losers as well. But yeah. Okay. Let's full port into some random penny stock. It either goes to zero or we find a new Microsoft. Well, I wish we did that on BE. Right? But yeah. Okay. New, Neo, or Grab, all or which are $4-ish stocks. Which do you pick as a winner in the end? New is like a $17 stock. But if you're saying if they all were back whenever they were $4, I would pick New. I would pick New now. I'd pick now at 17 versus all of those $4 stocks. Mind you, the dollar amount doesn't matter. It's more the market cap. Joby or Archer? I like Joby personally. I'm not a fan of Archer. A- take. All right. Kurt's funny. That's an old conversation with Amit. Okay. Mamba with the $28 donation. Add to OSS. Do we even have OSS in here? I think we might. How do I even go? Can I not search? Search OSS. No, we don't even have OSS. All right, I'll buy OSS. Thank you, Mamba. Tanner, Netflix stock. What do you think? I'm just not a fan of Netflix personally. I think that the cost of content generation over time will go down very, very quickly. Okay, as AI scales. Which, by the way, will be good for the chip companies and the data centers and all of these. But bad maybe for the potential companies that are, betting heavily on new studios and going into the old ways that we make movies, because I think that will change. I still think actors and all of these things will exist. I just think a lot of the background work will be done. The costume design, a lot of this stuff could just be generated through artificial intelligence. But I don't like how much that they have to pay for content. I think that scares me whenever I think about the other players in the space, like YouTube, that are, growing as a percentage of total streaming space. And they don't have to worry about catching a viral hit, buying Warner Brothers, constantly doing these types of things just to continuously try to refill that bucket of their content library. Like, that's insane that you have to dish out hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars to, get your hands on the next, or to re-up your position in Friends, or, get Harry Potter IP or something like this. I'm just not a fan of that. I don't like paying for Netflix as a user. I don't think I get my money out of it. I think they try to do these things. Like, I was watching, they're like, oh yeah, we're bringing Kill Tony onto Netflix. I'm like, it's available for free on YouTube. How much are you paying the Kill Tony universe to get them onto Netflix when they were going to upload it for free on YouTube regardless? I agree with this. I think Netflix will do fine. It's just a matter of companies that you can believe in. I think it's not about buying any company that I think will go up over time. Sure, Netflix will go up over time. Which company do I believe will go up the most? Which one do I have a lot of belief in? I don't have an opinion of Intel. Yeah. What's your favorite movie, Tanner? I don't know if I have a single individual favorite movie. I don't know. Shawshank Redemption was the first thing that came to mind. I have so many. I've got so many favorites. I did a list with Stephen Fiorillo, top 25 movies. I did that. I like a lot of movies. What'd you do before you became a stock market streamer? I was a financial advisor. But this is not financial advice. Gotta love the beers on a rooftop. You tar that roof, you get a couple of good beers. That's nice. All right. Let's go back to listening to the Larry Fink, Elon Musk conversation. I think he has some pretty important things to say there. I haven't listened to it through fully yet.
Fortitude to confront these issues head on, not just the ideas, but the execution across so many different technologies, Elon. And that's why I thought it was important for us to have this dialogue here in Davos. So you're presently building on AI, on robotics, on space, on energy, all at the same time. When you look across those efforts, what do they have in common from an engineering standpoint?
Well, they're all very difficult technology challenges, but the overall goal of my companies is to maximize the future of civilization, basically maximize the probability that civilization has a great future, and to expand consciousness beyond Earth. So if you take SpaceX, for example, that SpaceX is about advancing rocket technology to the point where we can extend life and consciousness beyond Earth, to the moon, to Mars, eventually to other star systems. And I think we should always view consciousness, life as we know it, as precarious and delicate, because to the best of our knowledge, we don't know of life anywhere else. I'm often asked, are there aliens among us? And I'll say that I am one, but
or you're from the future.
They don't believe me.
Okay.
But I think if anyone would know if there are aliens among us, it would be me. We have 9,000 satellites up there, and not once have we had to maneuver around an alien spaceship. So I'm like, I don't know. Bottom line is, I think we need to assume that life and consciousness is extremely rare, and it might only be us. And if that's the case, then we need to do everything possible to ensure that the light of consciousness is not extinguished, because we're effectively, the way I view it is, the image in my mind is of a tiny candle in a vast darkness, a tiny candle of consciousness that could easily go out. And that's why it's important to make life multiplanetary, such that if there is a natural disaster or a man-made disaster on Earth, that consciousness continues. That's the purpose of SpaceX. Tesla is obviously about sustainable technology, and also at this point we've sort of added to our mission sustainable abundance. So with robotics and AI, this is really the path to abundance for all. If you say, people often talk about solving global poverty, or essentially how do we give everyone a very high standard of living. I think the only way to do this is AI and robotics, which doesn't mean that it is without its issues. I mean, we need to be very careful with AI. We need to be very careful with robotics. We don't want to find ourselves in a James Cameron movie, Terminator. He's great movies, love his movies, but we don't want to be in Terminator, obviously. But if you have ubiquitous AI that is essentially free or close to it, and ubiquitous robotics, then you will have an explosion in the global economy, an expansion in the global economy that is truly beyond all precedent.
Elon, can that expansion be broad?
Yes.
Or is it narrow? And how can that be created? How can it broaden the global economy?
Yeah, I mean, a way to think of it is that if you have a large number of humanoid robots, the economic output is the average productivity per robot times the number of robots.
Right.
And actually, my prediction is in the benign scenario of the future that the robots will actually make so many robots and AI that they will actually saturate all human needs. Meaning you won't be able to even think of something to ask the robot for at a certain point. Like there will be such an abundance of goods and services, because my prediction is there'll be more robots than people. So,
but how do you then have human purpose in that scenario?
Yeah, I mean, nothing's perfect, but it is a necessary. Like, you can't have both. You can't have work that has to be done and amazing abundance for all. Because if it's work that has to be done, then you and only some people can do it, then you can't have abundance.
Then
for
it's
all.
narrow.
It's narrow, yeah. Exactly. So, but if you have billions of humanoid robots, and I think there will be, I think everyone on Earth is going to have one and going to want one. Because who wouldn't want a robot to, assuming it's very safe, watch over your kids, take care of your pet. If you have elderly parents, a lot of friends of mine have said they have elderly parents. It's very difficult to take care of them.
Expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive, and there just aren't enough people to take care of there aren't enough young people to take care of the old people.
Right.
So if you had a robot that could take care of and protect an elderly parents, I think that would be great. That would be an amazing thing to have. I think we will have those things. So, overall, I'm very optimistic about the future. I think we're headed for a future of amazing abundance, which is very cool. And definitely, we are in the most interesting time in history. I think there's a more interesting time in history. So.
Can you and I revert?
Can I just speak on that? Because I see a lot of comments that are kind of nasty on that future, like a disbelief in that happening. Max here says, "I'll believe it when I see it." But like, this is the same guy, and I'm not talking politically or if you agree with anything that he has to say, but like, for the longest time, he was talking about cars that can drive themselves. And then people said, well, I'll believe it when I can see it. And now today, that's exactly what they're doing. You know, they're unsupervised robo taxis that are driving the streets, taking people from point A to point B. And that's a future that is very hard to believe. You know, so we already see the robots, not just from Elon. We see the robots from essentially like 100 different humanoid robotics companies, ones that are doing food delivery today. Like, it is clear, or at least should be clear, based on the full self-driving principles, that there are now machines that can take in their surroundings and then make decisions on those surroundings. Why is it so hard to make a leap to believe that robots are small? We have the parts, we have the manufacturing, like all those, like we've been able to put together cars. These are very, very, very small cars. Okay. It'd be easier to put together than a motorcycle. And with a computer that we already know that it works by being able to see and understand its surroundings, to tell it to go pour you a coffee. You know, why is that so hard to believe? And I get that people don't like Elon. You don't have to bet on Elon, but you can see that that future is going to happen, or should be able to see that that future is going to happen. I bet my entire life, say everything I have is betting on that future. You know? Yeah. Anyway, I see it. I want FSD for my parents. But should we have more robots than humans? Why? Why does it matter? Do we have more cell phones than humans? Do we have more, like, do we have more cars than humans? Do we have more, like, why turn the thing on robots? Figure AI, yeah, they do. Figure AI is working already for some big businesses like BMW. People confuse robots with evil AGI. Yeah, I get that. But I think that this is one of those things. It's like, you know, it's a funny thing that people don't talk about often. I didn't live through this. Hopefully someone in chat did. And I don't even know how many, like we're talking, you know, very old here. Maybe not many people with a clear mind at the time that had the ideas, but like whenever Oppenheimer and the United States created the atomic bomb, I would think right then and there that the world would end very soon. We have a weapon that destroys nations. We have multiple competitors. We have those weapons in the hands of like straight up evil dictators in North Korea. Like, these are weapons of mass destruction. And yet we live on. And then people go, okay, well, the second AGI and robots take over, they're going to squash us like a bug. It's like, why isn't the actual evil man destroying us? You know? Like, the tools to destroy us are already in our hands. It's happening whether we like it or not. I mean AI and robotics and everything. Why not put your investments into the things that could optimistically, like I made a video about this a while ago on why I believe investing in the future is such a game changer for my own mental. If you have an economic belief in full self-driving, in artificial intelligence, and all of these things, you have to be optimistic on those outcomes, you know? And the alternative is, if it goes wrong, one, what are you going to do about it? And two, like, if somehow I pass away, like I didn't foresee something happens to me, I get ran over by a full self-driving car, whatever, it's not going to matter anyway. All the money I didn't spend, all the, it's not going to matter. So I might as well believe in the hopeful future of robots and full self-driving and me making an absolute fortune, which I have. Like, I'm not, well, there are people in chat that are going to be richer than I am. But for me, I've done well on betting on a very optimistic future. And then I see people who just want to live their lives in like absolute, like things that you can't control at all. And they go online to shoot out hate and just being like, yeah, I freaking dare you to put out this evil bot. This guy's a tyrant. This guy, nothing but terrible things to put out in the public, adding 0% to the conversation. Rather than participating and wanting to take part in the event, and then they go off. Like even like Steven with like the Fiscal AI conversation, he's like, no way, I'm not doing that. And then it's like, okay, this guy believes in artificial intelligence. He doesn't want to use any of the tools. He knows it his own way. I get it. He's an old dog, hard to learn new tricks, but like, just try. Just try. You just described liberals. No, bro, you're part of the problem. You're trying to put things into teams. For real, you learned nothing. You're the tyrant in this conversation. You're going, yeah, he's on my team. It's the other team that sucks. No. Just be a little optimistic. Well, sorry. Okay. All right. Fine. I'm a Canadian. Sorry, goes a long way. All right. Mod that guy. Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, the amount of yeah, dude, it is crazy. I think it's social media. I don't know what it is. People have very bad outlooks of the world. And maybe it's because I've gotten lucky. My health has been okay, God forbid, knock on wood. But I'm an optimistic person. Even though I'm, Tyrant Tanner or whatever, and I go and scream and everything like this, I actually feel very calm, hopeful about the future. And no, I don't hold Tesla, but that's not because I don't believe in its future. It's just expensive. Optimus will be here. FSD will be here. I believe in those things. But there's a difference between a company that I believe in and a stock that I believe in. I've held, Tesla from 2018 to 2025 and then sold it for NVIDIA. Because I still believe in that future. It's just I could find a way to benefit off artificial intelligence cheaper than Tesla. And I think that there's been a big change in Elon of like some people go and they believe in his politics. And I'm not like, yeah, do you? But I think politics just generally are bad for business. I don't care what side you're on. If he says these things like, money is not going to hold back my beliefs and everything like this. But if you're an investor betting on his companies, you should go, well, Elon, I mean, I'm tied to this success. Like, I also believe in what you're doing, but I also don't have $750 billion worth of, net worth. So maybe money for me still matters. But yeah. So I can believe in the technology. I can believe in the stock. But I, try not to let politics or anything like this, influence my decision on how profitable a business can be and what price I have to pay for it today. Yeah. Elon literally tells you the goal of his companies is not to create shareholder returns. Why invest? I mean, yeah, he has done well, and he does say like it is part of shareholder return. Like his new comp on his stock is if the stock appreciates. So there is shareholder return, but you just have to balance it. Yeah. Gold is going to break 5,000 an ounce, which is crazy. Silver's doing very well. Let's see what is moving and what isn't. Mostly Power gifting 5 memberships. Jeez. Thank you so much. Thank you. Robert, I should use my mod powers. Honestly, the mods don't do much here. We people are open to their opinions. Just like me, I lash out sometimes. I don't ban people for their opinions. Just whenever they get nasty. Can I be a mod? It's the first time I've seen your name in chat. But why should Tesla be the biggest beneficiary of full self-driving? So many companies are working on it. Plus NVIDIA, Alpamayo, or how it's called, will make this accessible to many. Yeah, I mean, it is the big concern. I just think that they're way out ahead, and they already have a lot of their cars on the streets. Tanner, which one rebounds first, SBET or BMNR? I think that BMNR is still the Wall Street favorite, but they're going to go up pretty much in tandem. Okay. Okay, let's get back to. Well, honestly, it's kind of 2:30 right now, which is usually when I wrap. But let's go ahead and have a look at the markets. Why are we seeing red candles on silver? The VIX is the thing most down today in my portfolio. Figure down 7.4. Galaxy Digital down 5.9%. Kratos down 5.6%. White Fiber, Bloom Energy also down at 155 this morning, down to 144. Crazy, the volatility in this name right now. Netflix down to $83.37. Unreal that you can almost buy this company for under $70 this week. There is a discount. Like I think if you're a Netflix believer, you believe in the content, everything like this, and you can absolutely, like, for people that tell me that they have Netflix in their portfolio, I do not judge it. Like, it's a good company. I get it. It's just I don't personally see it. Okay. But yeah. Ethereum under 3,000 again. When are we going to see or catch a break? Bitcoin under 90,000. Let's see what's working today. Redwire up 18%. Navitas up 14.4%. ASTS up nearly 14%. Lemonade up over 12%. Enphase, Energy Fuels, Accelera, all up over 10%. Okay, Lithium America is even up nearly 8%. Datadog, I'm pretty sure Datadog is up a bunch off of a recent upgrade. I think they just got a recent upgrade, and that's bringing the stock up even higher. Firefly, Duolingo, 146. Where did this bottom out at? 142? I think they're still going to show off good earnings. I mean, Duolingo could be an interesting name. Venture Global, up 6%, ended up breaking over $10. Let's go ahead and look at this company over the last year. You've been able to catch this stock at $5.72. If you were lucky enough, you're now sitting very pretty, almost like nearly doubling your position, up to $9.60. Rigetti, up to $25. Zeta, $21.62 again. Very cool. HIM's back down to a $30 stock. Man, the last time you could get this company was back in April of 2025. Remember the amount of people that told me to buy here and how dumb I was for not looking at this company? Do you guys remember feeling that? The amount of people that said I was dumb. I'm all shoulders to those people. Oh, well. Bought more HIMs yesterday at 29. Devis. No. Devis, well, I mean, yes, but no, he is he's a great investor. Okay. I'm glad I didn't FOMO that one. Yeah. It's just that it's not even that the company is like I knew that it was a bad investment. It's just I knew that I knew nothing about it, and you know, the market was changing very, very quickly, and the risk is high for those types of names. Nvidia hitting 200 plus this year. I think Nvidia is hitting over 250 this year. And I actually think the chance that that doesn't happen is so like low. The way I see it is essentially the company is going to be able to maintain high margins, grow at, 60+% this year, and the margin's going to come down. I think demand is going to raise. All the big tech companies are going to say that they need more GPUs. I don't see how it doesn't continue to climb. If people are saying that they're happy paying, a 40 times multiple for Nvidia, a year with 60+% growth means that the company, just to stay at its current multiple, would grow by 60+%. Okay. Let's see. What's your top 5 stocks in your portfolio? Nvidia, Shopify, SoFi, Robinhood, Nubank. Yeah. A lot less in the book value and more in market value. Those companies have appreciated a lot for me. SoFi probably actually has the largest book value out of all of those, which is crazy. And now I'm rotating, not rotating, I'm just, anytime I get new dollars, I'm just putting it more into big tech names. I like Meta. I like Amazon. Yeah. Any options on SoFi? No. Sorry. No, I more mean like cost base. Like, how many of my own dollars have been invested in it versus how much it's appreciated over time. That would be my market value. Meaning I've put in more dollars into SoFi than Nvidia and Shopify, and Robinhood and Nubank, but those have appreciated more than SoFi. When do you think Hood rebounds? I don't know. I think that they need to constant like Hood's expensive. Hood's expensive here. And they're essentially nearing a 40, almost 50% decline from 150. Or sorry, no, that's not true. More like a 30% decline. But it would need to be like nearly 50%, 40% to get back there. That said, they are still probably going to put up numbers showing off that they're one of the fastest growers, market share growers. What I dreamt last night, my dream was that I had a meeting, a live stream with Vlad Tenev, completely forgot, and then they went live without me. And then I watched a live stream of Vlad trying to talk about something without me there on my show. And I was like far away from a computer, so I just completely forgot about it. I don't know why that was my dream. ETF. What's up, brother? Change name, change logo. Prediction markets are going to be huge. IBKR literally believes that, prediction markets are going to be bigger than equity markets. I can really see it. Like, I think that they're going to take over the equity. I think a lot of the options contracts and everything will be done in prediction markets with just way clearer terms for, how to potentially get paid versus not get paid. And plus all the non-financial markets that you'll be able to bet on are very exciting. Yeah. I'll have to join prediction markets. Oh, because you're not from little VPN action. What's the biggest risky stock that you've bought that took you out of your comfort zone? I don't know. BM&R is definitely one of them. That took me out of my comfort zone because it's not a traditional, fundamentally driven business. And then I get bit, Yeah. How impressed are you with IBKR? Very, very impressed. I actually can't get over how much that name has, flew past me and I didn't see it. IBKR is what I use. Yeah, and I think that the only problem with IBKR that I see is that it really is for sophisticated traders or sophisticated investors as well, and that they're not going to get into like 20 million members type of situations. However, I don't even think they need to. It's just if Robinhood can sort of make a lot of their products and over time, then they can address the basic user that comes onto the platform and then stop them from graduating to IBKR, which is what's happening right now. Tanner, did Stock Talk give you the pitch on ENS? I think maybe at one point, but not really. I think he still is very hot on that name, but I don't remember. I don't remember the exact conversation, but I think that is one of his bigger names. Okay. I started with IBKR, but I like difficult games. There you go. There you go. I've been having a good amount of fun on Call Sheet. Like 90% of their volume is sports, but there's interesting opportunities in other categories. And I think that that's really, it's the non-sports stuff that I'm most excited about. But I think the sports stuff is almost like filling the profitability gaps while they build out other solutions. I also tried Tasty Trade, but like IBKR better. Wow. When do we get it in Canada? You mean Robinhood or IBKR? We have IBKR here, but we don't have Robinhood. Trump tweet. Thank you. Thank you for the update. We'll go look. Okay. Sorry, I didn't see the tweet yet. I'm just looking. It might literally be on Truth Social. I'm just hoping that it comes on to X. Be a lot easier to view it that way. The Cass Freight Index dropped 7.5% year over year in December, near pandemic lows. This index tracks the North American freight shipments and is one of the most important indicators for U.S. shipping activity. This marks the 35th consecutive monthly decline, the longest streak on record. Over this period, shipments have dropped 22%, with the index falling 5.5% in 2023, 4.1% in 2024, and 6.1% in 2025. Retailers are reducing inventories, ordering and stocking fewer goods, and freight capacity remains too high. By comparison, during the 2008 financial crisis, the index fell for 22 months. Wow. Okay. Have you started a position in eToro? No, I was going to try to wait. I think I'll be able to talk with the CEO, Yoni, if that ends up happening or not. I don't know. But I just had a couple questions, and I'm not done my due diligence before I enter the name. I don't think I'm in a super rush, but I don't know. Maybe I should pull the trigger on like a small position. Okay. I know Yoni, good dude. He seems like a good dude. Toro means bull, so load up. What is fatty tuna called? Isn't that? Am I crazy? Why can't I think of it? Is that Toro? No. What's a fatty tuna called? Someone please tell me. I'm freaking out. Invest, then investigate. Oh, Toro. Thank you. What to think about Meta's earnings coming up? Dude, I'm over the moon. I'm over the freaking moon about Meta. It's the end of the year. We're going to see holiday spend. Yeah, very excited. Okay. I am going to go. I got to go make a video, and it's all I'm thinking about right now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. Yeah, sorry. I'm getting distracted by other stuff. My apologies. I'll see you guys tomorrow, right? Yeah, tomorrow, same time, 1 p.m. If you guys want to keep updated on all the videos that I end up posting, which should be one video a day plus one live stream a day, plus one member-only live stream as well. We do that at noon. That you subscribe. Until next time, bye for now.